If you could select any version of LeBron James, which one would you choose? Would you go with the 2009 twitchy high-flying volume scorer in Cleveland? Or maybe villain LeBron at his athletic peak in Miami? How about 2016 LeBron with his blend of experience and offensive versatility? You really can't go wrong with any of them. But without question, I'm taking 2018 LeBron. His combination of elite athleticism, razor-sharp IQ, unpredictable playmaking, and his ability to take over in the clutch was surreal. It was like every version of LeBron was thrown into one, and he needed all of it to single-handedly carry his team to where no one thought possible. 2018 LeBron unlocked mastery of the game of basketball, and this is how he did it. Facing LeBron in 2018 was simply terrifying. The dude was driven by vengeance, and the reason is simple. It'd be easier just to show you. After winning his hometown a historic championship in 2016, he and Kyrie Irving were viewed as the league's premier duo. There was no way this would be their last title together, except it was. Kevin Durant signed with the Golden State Warriors during the 2016 offseason, and the league was cooked. Cleveland would face them in the 2017 finals and get smoked in 5 games. On his way back to the locker room, disappointed yet confident, LeBron daps up Kyrie and tells him, "We'll be back." But in reality, only one of them would be back. Just 4 weeks later, Kyrie demands a trade out of Cleveland, with reports stating that he no longer wanted to be in LeBron's shadow. 1 month later, he was gone. I can only imagine that LeBron felt disrespected and betrayed. He was left alone to carry the Cavaliers, and there was no doubt that it fueled him because, in 2018, the dude was a full-on demigod. Opening night for LeBron and the Cavs was straight to business. A matchup against the Boston Celtics and the new face of their franchise, but LeBron cooked. He lit up the Celtics for 29 points, 16 rebounds, and 9 assists, with 13 of those points coming in the fourth quarter. Kyrie missed a three-pointer over LeBron to tie the game at the buzzer, and then they D-up one last time. The LeBron carry job began. Well, actually, this was just the opening act. Game 9 of the season against the Washington Wizards was when it truly began. LeBron all the way and the finish. LeBron goes backdoor inside, counted and won. LeBron drives hard, finishes and won. He shoots a three-pointer, puts it in, and backs in to turn toward the baseline. Low shot's good and the foul. 56 points. No, 57. You know, this guy wasn't supposed to go on for much longer, yet here he is at 33 years old, dropping the second highest scoring performance of his career alongside 11 boards, 7 dimes, 3 steals, and a couple of blocks. He is not human. By this point, Cleveland was just 4-5 on the season, but LeBron's performance sparked a little bit of magic. A clutch-time dagger at the Garden, and Cleveland was on a 2-game winning streak, 39 points and 14 rebounds. Make that 4-0, 276 points and 13 assists. The Cavs were 7-0, 34-12, and Cleveland was on an 11-game winning streak. And with a chance to make it a franchise record 13th straight win against Sacramento, LeBron came up big. He scooped home a layup to go up 2, and then drained a dagger 3 with 15 seconds left for their 13th consecutive win. The king was still the king. LeBron was stuffing the stat sheet on a nightly basis like he was a spry 27-year-old at his prime, except he was 33 without an all-star teammate by his side. Even that didn't slow him down. As they entered mid-December, Cleveland was a flaming hot 19-2 in their last 21 games, and it launched LeBron into the MVP conversation, sitting right behind James Harden in the NBA's MVP ladder. Now, with a game lined up on Christmas Day against the defending NBA champs, a win could put LeBron as the frontrunner for MVP. But instead, he and the Cavs went from flaming hot to ice cold. James didn't have a great game on Christmas, and it began a downward spiral. From December 25th to February 6th, Cleveland went 6-13. LeBron was still putting up numbers, but the team around him was dysfunctional. They were too slow, too old, and just a couple of days out from the trade deadline, you knew something was going to change. They don't call him lead GM for nothing. However, a day before the deadline, they played the Minnesota Timberwolves, and LeBron decided to put on a show for his soon-to-be ex-teammates. LeBron put it down, twisting home a layup between defenders, shaking off Butler, and then with 4 seconds left, he drilled a fadeaway jumper to win it for Cleveland. He did it again, scoring 37 points, and while celebrating with teammates who would get traded less than 24 hours later, it was a bittersweet moment. The Cavs blew it up the very next day to get younger, trading 6 guys with an average age of 30 for 4 players with an average age of 26. It wasn't a superstar or even an all-star, but they gave LeBron something to play with, and he started balling. As the calendar flipped to March, LeBron was slowly turning into playoff Bron. He averaged over 39 points and 9 rebounds on a blistering 55% shooting with 9 30-point games and 4 triple-doubles in the month. The dude was a highlight machine, jaw-dropping one-legged fadeaways in the clutch to close out games, catching bodies that should have had him arrested for first-degree murder, and no-look dimes in LA that had him looking like Magic Johnson. LeBron's all-around game was at its absolute peak. He was virtually unguardable, highlighted by another masterpiece in April, a 44-point triple-double against the 76ers for his league-leading 32nd 30-point game of the season. Now here's the problem. They didn't win that game. Despite LeBron's greatness, the team around him was just average. If he doesn't play well, they have almost no chance of winning. If he drops a 40-point triple-double, winning is still not a guarantee, and it showed in the standings. The Cavs were the 3rd seed for the majority of the year before slipping to 4th in the final week of the season, landing them a tougher opponent in the first round of the playoffs, which basically killed LeBron's MVP case. He finished 2nd in voting as James Harden walked away with the award in a landslide. The case was made for LeBron, but it didn't matter anymore. The playoffs were around the corner, and the King was about to show the league who the real MVP was. As the 4th seed in the East, Cleveland faced a legit Indiana squad in round 1, and it was a wake-up call. The Pacers trampled them by 18 points on their home court in Game 1. Indy was no joke, and LeBron knew it. So, in the first quarter of Game 2, he made a statement. He erupted for 20 points in the frame, and he didn't stop there, finishing the game with 46 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists on 70% shooting from the field to tie the series at 1. But back in Indiana, the Pacers escaped Game 3 with a 2-point win to go up 2-1, and you know what that means? We're about to get another masterpiece from LeBron. 32 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists to tie the series at 2. James was putting up video game numbers like it was nothing, and in Game 5 at home, he turned on aimbot. He hit a game-winning fadeaway with 3 seconds left, nailing 44 points, 10 boards, and 8 dimes to win the game. But Game 6 in Indiana was not as light. The Cavs got smoked by 34 points, and now, shockingly, a LeBron-led team was going to Game 7 in round 1. But the result of that Game 7 wasn't much of a shocker. James threw on his backpack and went to work, exploding for 26 in the first half. From that point on, you knew it was over. He finished the game with 45 points for his third 40-point game of the series, to carry his team into the second round. And you want to know a crazy stat about this series? LeBron did not have a single teammate score more than 20 points in any game throughout the series. The literal definition of carrying his team. James' brilliance set up a daunting matchup against the number 1 seed Toronto Raptors in the second round. It was the 3rd consecutive playoff matchup between these two squads, and I think you know how the story goes. They don't call him LeBronto for nothing. LeBron dismantled the Raptors, hitting nasty fadeaways and elegant one-legged, fading runners off the glass to win Game 3 and take Toronto's soul. The Cavs killed the Raptors by 35 points in Game 4 to complete the sweep. For the 8th consecutive season, LeBron was back in the Eastern Conference Finals to face the Boston Celtics. Unfortunately, Kyrie was out for the series due to injury, but don't take anything away from the Celtics' young core. They were a problem. Tatum drove down and threw it down in Game 1, which was a major slap in the face to LeBron and the Cavs. They lost by 25 points, and LeBron had it rough, scoring just 15 points on 7 of 16 shooting with 7 turnovers. But as we've seen this postseason, the dude responds every time. In the first quarter of Game 2, his jumper was butter. He knocked down long-range missiles, sweeping hooks like a prime Kareem, and opposite shoulder fading threes for a 21-point first quarter. He was unstoppable. He finished the game with a 42-point triple-double, but they still lost by double digits. Cleveland was in serious trouble. In fact, as a franchise, the Boston Celtics were 37-0 all-time when leading a series 2-0. But I swear I've seen a similar graphic like this before. Anything's possible. In Game 3, the Cavs answered, and in Game 4, LeBron delivered again with a 44-point bomb for his sixth 40-point game of the playoffs. Just like that, the series was tied. But in Game 5, Boston responded and put the Cavs on the brink of elimination. LeBron was going to have to do something crazy to will his team to 2 straight wins, and in this case, crazy is actually an understatement. The King tapped into another dimension in Game 6, finishing at the cup, cashing in spot-up threes, and lacing home mid-range fades. He was on one, but with just a few minutes left, the Celtics cut the lead to single digits. LeBron was in trouble. He drove, stepped back, and hit 2 monster threes in a sweet spot. LeBron sealed the deal with his 7th 40-point game of the postseason to force a Game 7 in Boston. And if you know anything about Game 7 LeBron, then you know what's about to happen. On a 3-on-1 break for Boston, Rozier drove to the basket, but LeBron blocked the shot again. Between the legs, he continued his drive and finished off balance at the rim. Then, with a steal from behind, he went to the line, converting an and-one to give Cleveland a 9-point lead with just over a minute remaining. He finished with 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists. With a primal scream to celebrate, LeBron had miraculously gotten his team to the NBA Finals. He was Superman against the Celtics, but next up, he'd have to face his CP3. In 2017, when the Warriors and Cavs faced off, Cleveland realistically had no chance of winning, and that was with Kyrie. Fast forward to a year later, and it's just LeBron with a weaker supporting cast. The writing was on the wall, but we should keep in mind that Braun had been playing the best basketball of his career. With all these 40-point games, he was due to go for 50. LeBron drove past Curry and finished strong, making shots from everywhere. He had 51 points, the 5th most ever in the finals, alongside 8 rebounds and 8 assists against the mighty Golden State Warriors. He was the definition of unguardable, and after Draymond poked him in the eye in the second quarter, LeBron looked like a legit supervillain. Dude, it was insane. But this game isn't over. LeBron's effort got the Cavs within one with 4 seconds left, and George Hill was at the line to shoot 2 free throws. He made the first and then missed the second. The rebound went to the Cavs, and J.R. Smith brought it back out. He threw it to Hill, whose shot got blocked, and the game went into overtime. You get the feeling J.R. still thought they had the lead, J.R. being J.R. He dribbled the ball out to kill the clock and butchered a chance to win the game. LeBron was pissed to say the least. He knew you cannot give Golden State any chance to survive, and they just did. The game went into overtime, where the Warriors outscored the Cavs by 10 to take Game 1, and what would be Cleveland's only chance in this series. From then on, Golden State took care of business, sweeping the Cavaliers with ease and ending LeBron's otherworldly 2018 season. Although it ended without a championship, what LeBron was able to accomplish throughout this year, and especially in the postseason, is still viewed as one of, if not the single greatest playoff run by an individual player ever. At 33, this might be it for LeBron. Father Time was finally going to catch up. I'll say it again. He'll never have a greater achievement than getting this team to the finals. This historic 2020 NBA championship belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James has made a shot in history. No one person has ever shouldered more and gotten his team to the finals.